I was thinking, people say this all the time, so now what? I've been doing what I've been doing for, man, decades. It's what I have to do. Now, when do I get a chance to do what I want to do?
Well, and that's what we do here at Omega Wealth Private Capital. We help you get from the I have to's to, wow, I get to.
I'm Brad Johansen.
And I'm Joe Wilson, and welcome to another edition of Wise Money.
So glad you are with us on Wise Money. Brad Johansen with the president and founder of Omega Wealth Private Capital, Joe Wilson III.
Be Joe.
What a pleasure it is to continue to do these.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, and today we welcome into the studio Harmon S. Palmer.
Go on history.
Well,
I love history.
One of Mr. Palmer's things we welcome into the studio because I'm sorry, you have a guest next to you that's going to hang with you today.
Yeah.
Why in the world would you bring a cinder block onto the set today for Wise Money?
I'm going to tell you. That's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to talk about building financial plans. But I'm going to put a little history on it. I love history. By the way, have you checked out any of this new Ken Burns, The American Revolution?
I have not, and I know you are a huge history buff on this.
If you haven't, free plug, yes, for Ken Burns, The American Revolution for history. I love looking back and truly understanding history because I think it matters going forward. I'm reading a fabulous book right now, almost done with it, about the great financial crisis and what has impacted and today how we are impacted from what happened back then. I love history. Harmon S. Palmer, 1887.
1887. I remember that day well.
Easy trigger. He invented the patent for cinder block. Here's what's interesting. I found that interesting because it was a solid piece of concrete. Now listen to this. When it came out, it revolutionized building. Back in those days, it was sticks, and wood, and logs. If you're going to have anything sturdy, that was heavy construction. This changed the game. The problem was it was very hard to carry. It was solid, one piece, weighed 100 pounds. Now, molded concrete, that was a new transition, and boy, did it impact the world. Here's what I want to talk to you about when it comes to retirement plans. And boy, we're going to preach this hard today because old designs do not build the future. It was a handful of years later, it was 1904. Harmon didn't stop with what he had. He knew there were some improvements. Innovations can help. Listen to me. Innovations can help. Innovations in retirement planning can help you if you allow them to help you. 1904, this model came out. It became 2/3 lighter. It's about 30 pounds. The old one was 100. But because of these holes, it allowed it to be carried easier on the job sites, transported and stacked easier. Here's the other thing. It got stronger. Now, how would it be stronger taking out the middles? Because the structure of this actually became easier to put weight on. They engineered it stronger by taking away what wasn't needed. We're going to talk about this a little bit today. And the final thing is this spacing provided insulation that they really fell upon. They didn't realize that. But because of how that was built, it provided more insulation. Here's the question to you. Has your retirement plan been built and using old tools and innovation? Have you just been putting all the money in through your working years and hoping that that strategy works going forward? We've got to break down the cinder block and how it works with retirement.
Okay, so what you're telling me is this was built 1887, you said?
Was the original. It was solid. Yeah, 100 pounds.
So it takes 17 years, because it's a huge innovation, right?
Massive. Changed it. Changed the building.
17 years to figure out, let's take out everything that's not essential in this. And there's a plan. 17 years, shoot, today, Joe, that may be half of our retirement by longevity of what we're dealing with.
Sure. We got to start now.
So in planning this, Give me an idea, old stuff. What is your quote?
Well, you hear the old.
Old designs do not build the future. The
Yes.
old design is, what's your number? Is it all yours? And then once you
Yeah,
get
turn
it,
on a 4% withdrawal rate and you'll be fine.
4% will be good.
And you know what? You could still build a house with the old cinder block. I think there's better ways, and here's why. One of the things that the 4% rule looks at, it was looking at where inflation was. It was different than it is today. Number two, the 4% rule also looked at a market that had substantially less volatility. Why does volatility have anything to do with retirement? We preach this in our educational events and in our meetings with clients. We preach it in this book. How you saved in the accumulation years, volatility helped you. Think back to when you were working. Where were you back in 2000 to 2002? Where were you? Where were you in the news world?
I was weekend anchor at Local 12 during that time.
Okay, yeah, a long time ago.
Okay.
You were saving into your retirement savings. That was a brutal market. When you look at peak to trough from 2000, right after the 1999 dot-com boom, to 2002, that drop from 2000, 2001 to 2002, the NASDAQ was down 78%. The S&P 500 down 49%. Now, that probably helped you. You didn't like it because you got your statement. You didn't have as much money in there as you do now, but you were saving into that every 2 weeks. I want you to flip it back and imagine that in 2000, you had retired. What type of impact would that have? Here's the thing with using the old tools. If you're using the 4% rule, and over those 3 years, the market is down almost 50%, you are looking at a 50% reduction to your paycheck. No one talks about with the 4% rule, because if you have $1 million and it's down 20%, you have 800,000. You're going to take out a lower amount than you did the year before. That is not the way to go into retirement. Hear me. You must create an income engine that is devised and new, that allows you to have income as long as you have breath in your body, and regardless if the market is up or if the market is down. Because you cannot have the necessities in your life met using old tools. You're hoping. You better have a big number. The only way you can manage that 4% old way of investing is if you have a monster pile, because cost of living is going to go up. Kids are going to need some money. God forbid if there's a death in the family, things happen. And if you don't have a gigantic pile, there's an issue. What I love is you said something that as there's more insulation, there's more protection. Today's plans, we provide growth and protection. Why? You need both. You must have a place to go when the dark days come. You can get your cinder block of retirement lighter, stronger, and maybe not need as much as you used to because you're using new innovations if you allow to use them.
The book is The 5 Agreements to Be and Stay Retirement Ready. I'm going to throw that up because you can scan the QR code on your screen. We've given away thousands of them. Yes, they're free. We'll send them to you. We'll add the shipping. It's on us. The book is yours because it is the essentials: the income, the investments, the asset preservation, the taxes, the legacy. How do you figure that out? Are you using old tools? Scan the QR code. I'll put the number up on your screen. So call the number on your screen. If you're in Indy, if you're in Cincy, if you're in Kentucky, and you want to make sure that I've got a plan. Am I up to date on my cinder block? Call the number on your screen. We'll put it together. Wise Money continues after this.
Growing up, I loved playing the game of Monopoly with my friends and family. We would spend all night, sometimes on weekends, just playing that fun game. But the reality is retirement is very different than the game of Monopoly. You shouldn't be just going around every month collecting your $200 and hoping that you don't land on a property with a monster hotel or house on it. What about the dreaded chance card? You pick that thing out and it completely could wipe you out of the game. Your retirement needs a concrete written income plan. You need an income engine. Don't leave your future to chance. Find out if your retirement is just set up for a game of Monopoly, or do you have a written plan that'll help you be retirement ready? I want you to go to owquiz.com. It'll take you about 3 minutes, and it's going to put you on a path so you can be and stay retirement ready.
you ever been on that spot where you knew you had to get somewhere? Somebody told you how to get there. They gave you the directions. You kind of kept it in your head. You were just trusting that they had the right spot for you, and you were driving. And while you were driving, you were making the turns, the lefts, the right, going down the road, and yet you knew that you needed to stop and adjust. But you just trusted what they said, and then finally, boom, you hit the dead end. And you go, I knew I should have stopped, and now it's too late. Is there any spot to back up? This may be your retirement with your advisor that you've worked with and trusted for so long, and they've told you to go left and go right, and you thought, I'm not so sure this is leading me the right place. Stop the car. Now it's time to make a U-turn. At Omega Wealth Private Capital, we use the 5 agreements to be and stay retirement ready. It's not too late. You are where you are. Stop the car, back up, make a U-turn. Let us help you make the retirement of your dreams. You've been doing what you've had to do for so long. Now shouldn't you get the chance to turn around and do what you want to do? Give us a call. Omega Wealth Private Capital, the 5 agreements to be and stay retirement ready. Glad you're with us on Wise Money. Brad Johansson, Joe Wilson III. Both of us you can see on the Wealth Council, 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoons on Fox Business as well. We share that with you.
That's a fun show. Some of our great friends and fiduciary advisors. Yeah, some of the top, best of the best. I love that. The synergy we have and energy. That's a fun show. Make sure you catch it.
So hope you join us. 2 o'clock Sundays, Fox Business Channel. And then you're going, why the heck is Joe sitting with a cinder block? Harmon S. Palmer, 1887. Yes, so give us again the history. People are walking through this on...
Changed Building, 1887 created the patent for the cinder block. It was all one piece, 100 pounds. 17 years later, 1904, came up with this idea that we are still using, where he made it 2/3 lighter, more structurally sound, created more insulation because of the gap, more portable. When you look at old retirement strategies, one of the things that's very tough is we forget that people pass away. It does sound
kind of odd when you say it that way.
But we do.
Yeah.
When the average age of a widow is 59, what happens to the money? How is that money transitioned? I think the widow's tax, we preach on this pretty heavy. I think most folks that have a plan and they don't have it protected from taxes and inflation, they don't realize that when one person is left, they immediately jump into a higher tax bracket. Right. Even as great as our current tax bracket is, that single bracket the following year is crushing. We want to create a plan and work with our clients, and what we do with our amazing team, when we sit down with you, that is portable, that has more insulation. There's protection that you won't have to worry about income, that you know you've got an income engine created to last as long as you have breath in your body. You know you've taken care of inflation, because really you have to build in a proper inflation number or you risk running out of money. You have to understand where market volatility comes in. And if all of your money is being managed the same way, the old way of building, the old way of retirement planning, then you have to be willing to accept the downside of that. What's the downside? That 4% rule, drastically cutting your income in the down years. It's easier to build a retirement plan with new innovations that work and are better. It changed the way buildings were done in the late 1800s and 1900s, and we're continuing to see that evolution when it comes to retirement planning.
You say more portable and more insulation. It brings me to a client that I was sitting with and adjusting, but because they brought in what they thought was an adjustment. Their runway's a little bit longer. Spouse, the younger spouse, still going to work for probably another 15 years.
Yeah, and that's not uncommon. We see that.
Maybe longer than that, but was in what they thought was a safe product that was not a safe product.
And I hate that. Just product. I mean, that's so frustrating.
Well, see, you say that because they were sold this product in that time. Why are you in this was my question. I'm not sure, but they said this was probably the best. Look, if we're talking about cinder block and adjusting and insulating, we have to deal with first, what is your income goal? Do you know where you're going to be? Yes, I'm going to be working for quite some time. Do you know what your volatility is? Well, yeah, I've got some of it in there, but it's being managed and I can't get it out at this point, so I have very few opportunities. What's your asset preservation? Well, this is where that is. No, it's not.
I don't mean a downside.
And do you have to understand what you're in? We talk to our clients about this all the time. You need to know why you've been in it.
It's the why.
What does Joe say all the time? Purpose determines placement. And if we have something that we're working with, it's a new tool, and you hate product, it's a new solution to better work your retirement plan for the next 30 years.
Well, and it's a piece. And I think that's the other thing. It is a piece. I think too many folks just say, well, this is it. I'm going to put it. We tell every dollar, we give every dollar a job. This is your growth money. This is the money to go. We need that money. And it better be done in a tax efficient way. That you put it in an area where Uncle Sam can't keep his hands on it. You've taken care of that because that's where you want the growth. Because if one of you pass away, that protects the spouse, the surviving spouse, from having to pay that single bracket. I think it's criminal. Hear me. My dad's 85, mom's 82. They've been married over 50 years. If one of them passes and one survives, the following year, one of them is going to have to be penalized going to a single bracket. Their bills, their expenses, how they spend money doesn't change. They don't want to take a pay cut after that, yet it's idiotic to me that that's our plan on the Hill. Well, you better build that plan in your retirement plan because many of you are just saving into an IRA or 401k, and you're going to get the government's plan. You're going to get the old cinder block. There are new cinder blocks that have changed the way to build. You deserve a new version, not the old 1887 version.
Keep what's essential, and let's let go of the rest. I'm going to put up Joe's book, The 5 Agreements to Be and Stay Retirement Ready. It is yours for free. We'll send it out to you. Scan the QR code. Do that now. We're talking about building new plans, and most people say, I have plenty of time to plan. Do you? You know exactly when you're going to die? Joe just said it. Sometimes we forget that people die. Father Time gets us all, and we have said it many times, and to get laughter in seminars. If you guys can tell us exactly when you're going to die, we can put together a perfect retirement plan for you.
Well, didn't Ben Franklin say it best? Two things are certain in life, death and taxes. If we know that, and we all know that, why aren't we planning for it? Why are we just doing things the way we've always done it? It drives me crazy, and it's why we preach it so heavy in all of our educational events and on, this very television show.
You're watching Wise Money. We are back after this. There is a silent retirement budget buster. It's called healthcare. We'll share why you need to pay attention next on Wise Money.
What is the number one fear around those entering retirement and just having retired? What is it?
The number one fear is that you're going to run out of money before you die.
We have a window right now where there's some amazing tools where we can disinherit the IRS from that pot of money. So many times you've been saving and doing things, and that might be the right tool for that season. So when's the best time to prepare for rain? When it's sunny out.
When it's sunny.
You don't wait till it's storming. 2001, 2002, 2020. We go back through here the last couple of decades. There's going to be bad times in the market. Well, where do you go to get your income? Your retirement cannot sustain that. The only way those work out is if you retire and there are several good years right after you walk out of the office. You have to control what you can control, and you cannot control what happens in the markets. You get one shot at retirement, and if you're missing one of these agreements, that can crush you. You cannot go into distribution years with the same tools and hope that's not a plan. You have saved your whole life for retirement. The question you need to be asking right now is, how much of that will you actually get to keep? If your money's in a traditional IRA or 401k, maybe you're a 403b or government worker, 457, you have a partner in every dollar of that money, and that is Uncle Sam. Every time you take money out of those accounts, it's going to be taxable. With tax rates potentially rising in the future, the cost of doing nothing could be significant. A Roth conversion could offer a chance to reduce that future tax exposure. The question you should be asking is, what could your future tax exposure look like, and does it make sense for you to do a Roth conversion? I want you to scan the QR code or visit owrothquiz.com. Take a few minutes to take our Roth conversion quiz. Why don't you find out if a Roth conversion could put you and your family in a better position so you can be and stay retirement ready.
All right, lots of stuff to get to. Brad Johansson, Joe Wilson, Wise Money. We got the cinder block out. We're talking about new tools, and we said we were going to talk about medical, because when you're dealing with what if, it's almost no longer a what if. 7 out of 10 of us at 65 or older are going to have long-term care.
Recent article I was reading, this great study on this. We're seeing more and more. Why? Because baby boomers were living longer, and we're needing this. Right now, a healthy 65-year-old, hear me, is projected to spend over $300,000 in retirement on health care. You just had a major surgery. I mean, I can't even imagine. You might not have gotten all the bills in yet. What that cost would have been without insurance.
Well, and I don't know how people deal with the medical system if you have no experience with it. It is a nightmare, let alone the financial nightmare, the emotional nightmare of going through it.
Well, imagine if you were older and you were alone and you were retired and you were living on your own. You could not have lived on your own. You would have had
Correct.
to gone to a facility. Have you planned? That is a what if. One of the things we do with all of our folks that work with us is we try to have something set up that is insulated from the what ifs of medical, because I think it's one of the biggest risks sitting right now.
No question.
Because we're living longer.
Yeah.
And if we're living longer, that's more opportunity for us to have issues. If you're building with old tools and you got your 60-40 and you're saying, oh, I'm good. Are you? Have you looked at that after taxes? Have you looked at that after a medical situation where $300,000, $400,000 could come out in a matter of just a year or two? If you haven't, why not? What if taxes go negative in the sense that you are a surviving spouse, and you're in a higher bracket, or God forbid if rates go higher? How does that impact your money lasting for a lifetime? It's got to be improved. You have to have something that's stronger, lighter, more flexible, and my goodness, new tools.
Much more to talk about. We have to wrap this up. Got to take a break. Call the number on your screen. If you need an appointment in Indy, in Kentucky, in Cincinnati, in Dayton, let's make this happen for you. Let's use the essentials. Let's use the better tools. Wise Money continues after this.
Do you remember the fun game of Battleship where your friend calls out B12, miss, and then B13, hit, you sank my battleship. Battleship's a fun game, but in retirement, that kind of guessing can absolutely sink you. Too many people are treating retirement like just calling out random coordinates, hoping that they hit something. But what about the defense? Could you just be 1 or 2 coordinates away from your battleship, your retirement being sunk? You cannot retire on luck. You have to retire on income. And I cover that in my book, The 5 Agreements to Be and Stay Retirement Ready. You need to develop a plan that provides an income engine, a place for you to get money when things are not always going good in the markets. Retirement isn't about guessing your way across the board. It's about creating an income engine that pays you constantly, even when life fires back. Don't play Battleship with your future. Make sure your plan is able to withstand those dreaded hits. It's only going to take 3 minutes. I want you to go to owquiz.com. It's going to give you an idea of where you're standing right now on your battleship journey, so you can be and stay retirement ready.
Grateful you're with us on Wise Money. Brad Johansson, Joe Wilson III. We're talking cinder block. We're talking improvement, going all the way back to the 1800s, and now it took 17 years to get to the point where we only have the essentials left on this to create more insulation, to finish this. We talk about Joe's book. I want to put that up right now, The 5 Agreements to Be and Stay Retirement Ready. It has been so impact changing for so many of you. Thousands of you have reached out for this book. We'll send it to you for free. Scan the QR code. It is important that you use the essentials right now. It is important that you use your time right now. A lot of you have watched. We're grateful for the time. You spend your time with us, and this is important to you because, I want to get something from this, but do you want to do something about it? The essential part is that you reach out and say, I need some help. It's hard for us to be able to do that. But to be able to put these 5 agreements together and say, I think I've got a plan right now. I want to go back to what you said at the beginning of the program, which was protect the plan. And I said, too many people are walking into our office saying, I don't have a plan. Do you have an advisor? Sure. Do they have a plan? I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that should be a red flag. And if that's you right now, do you know where you're going to get income when the market corrects? Because there'll be corrections. Now, corrections and a bear market, those are very different. Corrections are normal. But you need to have a place to go to get money when the market is down. I think we've been lulled to sleep here recently. It's been an amazing run in the market. I continue to see so many folks that are 60, 65, 70. And when you look at the hidden risk sitting inside those portfolios, it is frightening because they are coming in off this television show and going, hey, I'm 70, I'm 69, I think we're good. Look at what we have. And then we take a look at the deep dive and go, dear God, they are sitting on a landmine. Why don't we peel some of that off and create a place that if the market pulls down, you're not selling this amazing mountain of money you sat on at a lower price. You're able to go and get income. Certainty is essential in an uncertain world. You need a retirement plan that has certainties built around it. We see it day in and day out, and it's why our message is resounding. If you're watching this, I challenge you, pick up your phone, take a QR code, set up a time to meet with one of our amazing team members all across our area of television viewing. Scan the code and get a copy of this book. I had someone read this recently. When I gave it to him, he is a good dude, man. He's a cowboy.
I know exactly who you're
talking about. And he said, I don't like reading books. I'm out working. I said, I know there's going to be a rainy day. He was in the office last week and he came in and he said, thank you. And he started dropping one-liners. He said, I sat down one morning and I read it. And it was just like I was sitting here talking to you. I got up, went out, fed the horses, came back and read it again. That's why I wrote this. It's not War and Peace. It's not in a Wharton School of Finance, but it's information you need right now in this season. I'm going to bring this to you. Are you going to do this one day, or can today be day one? There has never been a better time to get your retirement in place than right now in this market and this economy. You deserve to be and stay retirement ready. Thanks for watching. We will see you next week.
From tax time bombs to Social Security insecurities, strategic investments that help clean up your junk drawer and keep your income engine running smoothly at Omega Wealth Private Capital. We're fiduciary, independent, holistic wealth advisors, and we're here to turn your have-tos into get-tos. So, would you like your retirement dreams to move from good to great? Give us a call. It's what we do because we really want to. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope to see you in the office. Until then, I'm Brad Johansson. We'll see you next time on Wise Money.